Good to see y'all. So take a seated position. And even if it's only momentarily, just closing eyes. And as you're connecting to breath, feel, sense breath having a line of connection from the skull bones right down to the tip of the tailbone. And we'll just go one tiny inch further. As you're feeling or sensing this connection of breath from the tail to the crown, can you sense your breath just a little bit beyond the bones of your skull, like just 1 inch into the sky above you? And similarly, could you sense or stretch your breath from that place about 1 inch lower than your tailbone into the ground? We could do this practice going way more than 1 inch beyond our physical body. But we'll save that for another kind of practice day. We're going to keep our practice within the framework of our body, our physical body. So we'll work with our energetic body within the boundary of our physical body today. So let's find out if we can get a sense of our breath spreading throughout our entire physical body, our physical body space. So this location. Let's go fingertips to ground, and we'll begin by exhaling everything out. And as you're inhaling into and through your core, let that breath start to move and spread. So it starts to contact and fill the chest wall and the upper back and the head space and the neck space and the pelvis. And pause as you're holding your breath. Feel for relaxing your core. This is a key way to opening up our body in this whole body way, to feel energy, to feel the entire body. And breath moving and contacting it is softening the core. Okay? Bring your hands in front of your legs. And we'll do a swift, a thorough exhalation. Doesn't have to be forceful, just fast. And with the chin low, close to the sternum, all emptied out, draw the belly in. Draw from the tip of the tailbone, the perineum, so the genitals and the anus, They move into this movement, this lifting up, drawing up. This is the bottommost portion of that core. As you're lifting up, drawing up, start to lift or spread the ribs. This is all being done empty with no breath transaction. Relax the belly. Take a breath. Take a couple of breaths. Come back upright. Switch the cross of your legs. And together, let's take 2 Ujjayi breaths. If you can afford to close eyes, close eyes. So with these breaths, the hope is to create or remember a really strong felt connection to our interiors. And for our purposes today, our core. So guiding, washing, feeling that breath move in and through your core. Imagine it if you have to imagine it. Visualize it if you have to visualize it. See it. But just stoke that feeling sense of there's a movement and there's space inside my body. All right, round 2, here we go. Let's start by exhaling everything out, setting the fingertips to the ground. Once you're empty, feel that inhale. Not only washing through the core, but now spreading throughout the body, from core to periphery, from deepest innermost to most superficial outermost. And as you're holding breath, soften core. This is key to feeling energy moving, circulating from your core to your periphery. And bring the hands forward. Swiftly exhale. Swift, doesn't have to be forceful, just swift. Remain empty. Draw the belly in. Draw back. And there's a lifting up motion. So lifting from that ground, 1 inch beneath your tailbone, drawing from that ground right up through the tailbone, through the perineum, right up through your core. How far does that go? To where does that lead? And relax the belly when you need to breathe. Resume Ujjayi breathing. Resume your Ujjayi breathing. And if you can afford to close eyes once more, close eyes and feel that Ujjayi breath richly suffusing your core, this interior space of your body. So sometimes when we're doing a task and we sense that's the end of that task, what's the next task? We might find that we disconnect, we kind of jump away, attentionally jump away from our core. But what would that take? Eyes open or eyes closed to remain connected to this felt sense of in here. we're using core, it's really handy. We'll set the soles of the feet together in Baddha Konasana. How close your heels are to your groin is a function of just your comfort in your hips. If you like it really snuggly feeling, you can move your heels and your groin more closely to one another. We'll go left hand to left thigh, and the right hand posts on the ground, near the hip. Heel press, outer edge of foot press, ball mount of foot press. Begin your breath in your left side of the pelvis. And exhaling using both hands, the pressure moves torso skyward. Can you feel the low back lengthening softly away from the sacrum? Sort of feel breath in the pelvis. Maybe it's helpful for you to close eyes to kind of envision that, right? Maybe for you it's helpful to bear the breath down. Feel that your breath is spreading throughout this entire space of your body, the left side of the pelvis. It's contacting where sacrum meets pelvic bones. Spreading up into the kidney, the adrenals. And then ease that pressure off of left side. We'll switch to the other side, left hand to the ground, right hand to right thigh. Start with the breath, and if you need to close eyes, close eyes. Now, if you would for these moments, working with eyes closed, feeling for breath in, near, around, and in that right hip area. Consider your best inquiry for your body, for your temple, for your sacred grounds. What is the inquiry that you can plant here? I'm going to be watering this inquiry for the next almost hour. And my recommendation is letting your intent come from that spontaneous wisdom place. You can always refine it, but letting that question that you have for your deepest, innermost sense of self come up rather spontaneously. And as that question suffuses your breath and your breath contacts your entire body, we're taking that inquiry everywhere. We're taking that inquiry into every cell, into every layer we're willing to visit today. And then we release. Resume Ujjayi breath as you use your hands to help the knees together. lie on back. And do just a couple of things here. So up from the tailbone, low belly. Bend knees. Interlace the hands behind the head. And we'll bring the feet off the ground unless you get a lot more benefit to your pelvis to leave them on the ground. Inhale, float the head, the shoulders up off the ground. And bearing breath into that low belly area. So a breath reservoir. Curl the tailbone. Find out how you shift or find or feel the tailbone. Exhale, reach the left leg straight up. Take your left palm to your left thigh. Nudge the thigh so the entire leg and the bone lift up a tiny bit. Pull low belly down. Inhale, bend that left knee. Breathing into the low back where the sacrum meets the low back bones. Curl tailbone. And now exhale, the right leg, reach straight up. Right hand to right thigh. Giving it a palm push. The nudge moves bone away from bone. Pull low belly down. Resting the head in your left hand. Inhale, bend that right knee. Curl tailbone. Exhale, the left leg straight up. The left palm to the left thigh. Nudge, push, press. And what you're feeling is bone relate to bone. Thigh bone relate to pelvic bone. Pull low belly down. Inhale, bend left knee. Curl tailbone, which is to say, find the tailbone. Exhale, reach the right leg up. Use your right palm, nudge that thigh. And as you push on that thigh, feel for that vertical move. Where there's that bone relating to bone, pull low belly down. There's often a bit of space. Where there's movement, we can find space. Inhale, bend that right knee. Let's do one more on each side on your own. Do one for the left side, do one for the right side. A little bit of space in the body is a wonderful place to bring your inquiry. And I don't know what your inquiry is today. But hopefully these are the quality, the kinds of questions that bring us into a deeper place in the body. How can I care more? How can I love more sincerely? How might I see more of what's occurring in this miraculous body? How can I be open to more? You may have much more specific questions. Can you lead me to the source of this particular pain? That would be one. How do I uncover and get at the root of some issue or some perceived problem? Good. Looks like you're through. Set the feet up for bridge. I'll be describing moving into bridge with one leg up at a time. You can choose a block or support to have nearby. You could also do it without any props. So with or without props is fine. We'll set the fingertips, reaching them down to skim the heels. Inhaling from that low belly area. Drawing that breath up through the chest, up through the core. And exhaling, shifting the tailbone toward the sky, the buttock lifts, the spine lifts. And we are attempting to enter bridge with the back of the legs and the butt working. So for some people, you can trigger that with heel emphasis or midfoot emphasis. For some people, you can trigger those backside muscles by shifting the tailbone toward the sky. And as the backside of the legs are, as you're feeling them, they're engaging, they're working. It's a wonderful time to connect to breath so that that musculature, as it's getting a little bit activated, that activation mixes with breath. And where will you direct this breath in your body? I'll give you a few breath moments to ponder, to choose. You've got a nice bit of activation, a little zest, and breath can carry this inquiry into any area of your choosing. Where should that be right now? If you're not sure, if it doesn't spontaneously and intuitively occur to you, go right for the heart. Inhaling. Feel that pathway from the low belly to the heart, or from your low belly to the place that you've decided. It's going to get awesome here. Inch the feet in toward one another, about a ½ inch each, or an inch each, or just slightly narrower. And we'll start with the right side. Inhale, draw that right knee toward your chest. Exhale, raise that right leg to the sky. Straighten it to the best of your ability, just straightening, spreading out that back of knee, spreading open the sole of the foot bone space. There you go. Good. And if you like that little edgy bit of stretch, you can draw that right leg toward your ear. That left butt cheek, it is still super duper active. Now, this will get kind of simmering. The intensity might shift here. Connect breath from that low belly, from the legs, from the pelvis, all the way up to your area or your heart. Make that pathway, that breath pathway, evident to you. Breath is carrier, like a carrier wave. There you go. You're working it. And if you're on a block, keep pressing so the legs are working. I know it's there to support you, but it's not there to do the pose for you, right? We want the juice. We want the zest. We just don't want the pain, right? Inhale, let's set that right foot down. And as you're exhaling, spread the feet, press them into the earth, feel the backs of the legs, the back of the thigh, the back of the pelvis, those muscles, feel them activate. You don't have to stiffen, but just you can feel, oh, that's work. They're working. They're on. Let's do other side. Inhale, draw that left knee toward your chest. Exhaling, raise that left leg. Now the hands in this whole process are free. If you find that they're clutching like the edge of the mat, like you're on a roller coaster, free up the hands, let the feet, let the hip do the balancing for you. Good, now let's deepen breath as you're accessing this wonderful well of energy. You have the ability, you have the luxury of time to wonder how to move this energy, how to conduct it in your body. So here are some options. We could writhe and gnash our teeth and beat our breast and blame others. That would be one option. It's actually a lot of options. We can conduct this energy so it starts to pour into the places that we want to know more about. Like 1 or 2 more breaths, reaching that left leg. It's okay if it feels hot or a little steamy or a little shaky. Yep, you can get right on that sweet, sweet edge of uncertainty. You're exactly right. I see a few of those bridges. Inhale, we'll set that left foot down to the ground. If you have a block beneath you, just sweep it out from underneath. But as you're exiting bridge, kind of control the descent. So just plop avoidance. We're just letting the spine down. And when we've exited the ride, turn onto your right side and do some lounge lizard. So if you need to see this, my right ankles, my right hip, and my right hand are in a line. I'm flexing the feet, dorsiflex. And I'm propped up on my hands, so I'm getting access right here to this shoulder blade and chest wall area. This is going to prime us for dolphin. We're not going to omit dolphin today. So this is a primer move right here. Inhale into the right side of your ribs. And let your breath, this conscious, this choiceful, this participatory breath, let it move, even stretch and work these muscles all around the right lung. And pressing out that right heel, as if lengthening through the back of the leg. You can feel that bit of buttock trigger on. You can feel the pelvis shifting. And as that pelvis shifts, note you getting a little more stretch near your armpit, but by working through that bottom heel. Letting that area around the right lung just soften. 1 or 2 more breaths. Deep, volitional breath. There's muscles here. And work those muscles of inspiration. And yes, we do need to work our muscles of inspiration. Train those up too. And then bending knees will trade sides. So we'll line up the left side, the left ankle, the left hip, the left hand. Breath is a carrier wave for a lot of things. It carries and moves the energy with which we're working. And breath is also a carrier wave for that inquiry. So where energy moves, that question can move. You're in a nice steady spot here. You're supported. Close eyes for the next 2-3 breaths and feel that you can go right back in, sensing this interior space of your body. And of course, in all good reciprocity, as we're planting this seed of a question of an inquiry, we're not just inquiring at our body, but hopefully we're also waiting and listening and feeling for body's response. How does the body respond to this question? We'll bend knees. We'll turn onto our knees and our elbows. As promised, we're setting up for dolphin. So the forearms right out in front. Feel that the neck can be relaxed. Draw the shoulders down. And where you've just been feeling that broad stretch through the armpit or the shoulder blade or the chest wall, can you breathe, spreading your breath into both sides, both shoulder blades, both chest walls? To go big both ways. Curl toe pads under, exhale, the knees off the ground, go smoothly, so unjarringly in the shoulders. Now we're going to continue to breathe broadly to that space of the body, the lung space, the heart space, the chest wall, the upper back. And for you intensity lovers, because we can work with energy while we're here, here's an option. We'll take that left foot, the toes of the left foot, and initially we're going to rest or anchor them onto the right heel cord. And as you sink your weight down into that right heel, feel that right leg's broadening, expanding. Maybe there's even a little excitement that comes with that expansion behind the knee, through the Achilles, the calf. Deepen breath. And then inhaling, we'll raise that left foot off the heel, spread the foot bones. As you're exhaling, move that sole of left foot away from the pelvis, away from the brain. There you go. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. That's really neat. Deepen breath. You can hold all of this incredible energy of dolphin with that inquiry through the medium of breath as you feel it in your body. How we give that inquiry a little zest, a little more charge. Inhale, let the left foot down to the ground. And we'll take the right foot toes. Exhaling, sink into that left heel cord. Press, staying light in the shoulder joints. Now inhale, raising that right foot up. Spreading those foot bones. Exhale, reach through the ball of the right foot. Now, while you're accessing some zest, some juice, some energy, you start to breathe into those areas where maybe it feels a little packed or a little heavy or a little dense. How do you start to move your breath into those sometimes challenging little areas to feel, to know, to sense? The inquiring mind, right, needs needs to be stalwart. It needs to be really steady, even in the ups and downs and the intense moments. And we'll set that right foot down. Pressing through those forearms. Let the knees softly down to the ground. Inhale, slip the hands under your shoulders. There's not too much rest here. Exhaling, downward dog. Releasing the weight of the head. And let's revisit exactly where we started. Just a different orientation. As you're connecting to your deep Ujjayi breath, feel the tail moving away from the skull bones, and the skull bones releasing down, releasing away from the tail. We also began by feeling breath in and through core. How does that occur to you now? Have we started to make a little more room? Is there a sense of there being more space? Inhale the left foot forward, warrior two. Reaching arms out to our sides. We can keep our chin over our sternum. As we exhale, feel the tailbone. It's a subtle move, just downward reaching. And the skull bones upward reaching. And on exhale, your next exhale, bringing the arms into eagle, left over right, left, over, right. Oh, that's interesting. So as you're moving the arms, you're getting your arms into eagle. Feel again that skull bone to tailbone, that space. I get the impression that, as some of us may have been moving our arms, that there was maybe a compressive kind of motion around the head or the neck. To me, it feels very back of brain, back of skull, back of neck area. Ears, also ears. All right, so the toe pads are free. They're free from the ground. Inhaling into the upper back, into those shoulder blades, under the shoulder blades. Exhale, gliding them away from the brain, and just lightly sending elbows forward. You can engage that right leg for sure. The quadriceps. Reaching out through that heel. Inhale, unwind the arms. So things that interest me, maybe they'll interest you, is as I'm offering these cues, as you're engaging them, if you feel a little fluctuation in your deep Ujjayi breath, take note. There's something there, right? There's a little response. Our nervous system, our breath, our whatever, just had a little response. Yeah? Extended warrior. Exhaling, we bring that left hand down to the ground. You could use a block, so you could prop that left hand up. Right arm reaches overhead. Also want to just tune us into that right leg. If that right foot is adequately turned in, we can reach through that heel, right heel. And you'll feel that right butt turning on. There you go. That's it. There you go. So go all the way to the heel. Go all the way to the heel. The back of the right knee will kind of expand. The quadricep engages. That buttock engages. The tailbone shifts subtly toward the right heel. You getting all that right leg? Oh, good. Inhale into that right side, the waist, the ribs, the armpit. Spreading the right hand bones. Exhale, reach just a little bit further through the fingertips and through the right heel. Each. And press through that left heel. We're not just diving into that left hip socket. We're still light there. Inhale, bring that right hand down to the ground. Exhaling, chaturanga. We step that left foot back and lower, belly to earth. We shift the tailbone toward the earth, reach the legs back. Inhale, use the hands, pull mid-spine away from low spine. Exhaling, lower, hands under chest, downward dog. Inhale the right foot forward, warrior two. And we're moving arms into eagle. As we exhale, go right, over, left. the connection to core was a little different that time. I hope you felt that. So often our attention will follow our hands or follow our eyes in space. And often when it follows our hands and our eyes, we kind of drift away from our core, sensing that deep, that innermost sense. So these simple moves like moving the hands into eagle can be done, can it be done, as we're still breathing in and through our core. Okay. And yes, we can engage those legs. We sure will. That left foot's turned inwardly, adequately inwardly, so we can engage the quadriceps. We can move and press through those legs. Feel for there being a little more space around the pelvis. Inhaling, unwind. Extended warrior. Exhaling, we go right hand down, left arm overhead. Now for me, I always have to do a little bit of adjusting, foot distance, etc. But turn left toes inwardly. And then reach through the midfoot, reach through the heel until that left glute starts to feel a little more involved. Left butt. There you go. Good. When that left butt is involved, that left front of hip can expand. Feel for that. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's a breath. Good. That left front of hip expands, so too the left side waist and abdomen, left side ribs. So we involve the glutes, the muscles, we involve ourselves in these activating moments so we can draw from these wells of energy. This is part of energetic work. We have tons of resources. And if you don't believe me, get into a conflict, there's tons of resources right there. Right? Just waiting to be utilized. Inhale, bring the left hand down to the ground, exhaling chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog or cobra. Exhaling, downward dog. Triangle. Inhale, step the left foot forward. And then exhaling, reaching through the left arm. And the reach through the left arm is to expose, to elongate these left side ribs. And then we set the hand down to continue to support that left side, the bottom side, expanding. We'll raise the right arm, spread the hand bones. And these legs are not inert. So I'm using that right heel, pressing it into the earth. The butt turns on, the hip bone starts to move. Inhaling the low back forward, away from the sacrum. Bending left knee, Inhale, lower the right hand as we prepare for interlock warrior. You may have to adjust your right foot. Exhaling, left arm under left thigh. And I know some of us are leaving the hands purposefully unconnected. That works out just fine. Okay. So if you're not doing the interlock, you can get a lot of spreading action through these ribs and this waist tissue. So that's a welcome adjustment. Now with that right heel sinking into the earth, I'm going to follow, I'm going to traverse this core once more. That heel sinks into the earth, and when the glute kind of triggers on, feel that tailbone reaching toward that right heel. Now, connecting to breath, inhale, washing your breath from that tailbone, right up through your flank, through your heart, relaxing the neck, and into your brain, into your headspace. It'll get there through a relaxed neck. Remember, relaxed core is one of our primary tools that we have to move energy. A relaxed, a soft core is how energy moves. Okay, so staying plugged into that right heel. Inhale, washing breath from tailbone to brain bones. If it feels a little disconnected, just stay for a breath. Make another sweep, another pass, just making tracks. There you go. Release hands. Inhale, set them under the shoulders. Exhale, chaturanga. Just doing a couple poses at a time. Inhale, upward dog or cobra, your pleasure. Exhaling, downward dog. Nice. Those transitions look nicer and smoother and more fluent and pleasurable. I hope that's true. Triangle. Inhale, step the right foot forward. Reaching arms out to side, exhaling. Reaching, this right side lengthening. Now, stay utterly connected to this inner right leg, right? As I'm engaging this inner right leg, I'm getting a lot of inner right leg feelings. You might be too. Breath is carrier wave. So instead of the breath just kind of riding across the surface of the body, just shoo, skimming by, driving by, let the breath come in another layer or 5. Where is deeper? Which direction is deeper? You'll know. You do know. You know when a breath contacts the body in a full, thorough way. You know when you're in another layer, another depth of self that you don't typically visit or feel. You know. And so when we bend that right knee, again, you may have to adjust that left foot out a bit. Interlock warrior. And I'll encourage you, work that left leg. Toes are turned in adequately so that you can reach through the heel and use that butt. That left butt now. As the right arm goes under the thigh, the left hand behind the back. Good. Stay with that butt. And then inhaling, washing breath from that tail to the left side of that spine. Get up to that mid-back, arching that mid-back, the chest, broadening, opening around that thigh. It's a teeny weeny little half back bend here. The left side's doing a little itty bitty back bend. Yeah. Go all the way to the lung, where the middle lobe and the top lobe of the lung are. Articulate those bones, lifting the chest forward, the chest bones forward. There you go, there you go, there you go. Stay with. When it starts to get kind of peppery, and you're like, oh, that's the sweet stuff. There goes breath, right there, right there. Right when you start to negotiate, oh, I should really get out of the, oh, deep breath. Release hands, inhale, set them down under the shoulders. Exhaling, chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. You always have that option of cobra. Right up to the armpits, pulling those chest bones forward. Exhaling, downward dog. Once more, releasing the weight of your head, so just sense the top of your skull, the crown, releasing and relaxing down. Now those active legs, draw those heels toward the earth, whether they touch or not. Draw those heels down, lifting the tail away from the crown. So legs tensioning that tailbone back and up, releasing the weight of the head down and away from tail. Get 3 washes of breath all throughout your core. We're on the repetition plan today. Many, many returns back to core promotes an automatic return when we might unexpectedly want it or need it. Many, many returns. And then gently set the knees down, have a seat. And let's lie back. We'll go straight back to Shavasana. We'll do a short rest here. So one of the hopes is that we got a broad, encompassing wash of breath in and all throughout our body, especially our core. So let's revisit that central axis, that centralmost space of the body. And as you're breathing in and breathing on your core, feel that scintillating contribution. There's a way that as we focus, feel, and breathe, it helps us attune to that scintillating, that luminescing quality that is within us. And with every breath that lands, touches, and finds an address in these cells, that luminosity, that sparkle occurs. So in these last few moments, let that breath, that scintillating, that luminescing, electric quality start to spread from core to periphery, to your edges. So the energy work can help awaken us to this openness and this awareness that pervades our body. And if we have a really strong sense of that brilliant, brilliant awareness, feeling that land and connect in our cells will help house that and home that and ground that. So in a sense, making many, many connections to our core, to our body, is like a grounding wire. Gives all of this luminosity a place to glow and be. All right, you lightning rods. Bend knees. Turn to his side. And press to seated. All right, what a morning crew. Thank you so much for being here. Namaste.